In this video, I'm going to explain to you how to say that you or someone else likes something in Spanish. English speakers get very confused with this because it's done a little bit differently. So if you want to talk about what you like, you would use me gusta or me gustan. So for example, if I wanted to say I like the volcano, I would say me gusta el volcán. Or if I wanted to say I like to swim, I would say me gusta nadar. Notice that's a verb, but I didn't conjugate it. I left the AR at the end. So when you use another verb with Gustar, you don't conjugate the verb. If the thing that you like is more than one, for example, if I were saying I like sloths, since there's more than one sloth, then I use me gustan instead of me gusta. Also, if you want to make it really clear that it's you that likes the thing, if you're emphasizing that I like this, then I might put a mí in front. So I could say, for example, a mí me gustan los puentes. So if I were trying to make it clear that even though some people don't like these suspended bridges, I do, then I might use that a mí me gustan. If you're talking about what someone else likes, you would either use a form of te gusta or le gusta, depending on if you're being familiar or if you're being formal. So if you're talking to a friend, you would use te gusta or te gustan. Again, the same thing applies. If it's one thing the person likes, you would use te gusta, like te gusta la pizza. If it's more than one, you would use te gustan, like te gustan los tacos. And you can clarify who you're talking about by adding a ti to the front. If you want to make it a question, all you really would need to do is to add a question mark at the beginning or the end. So if I wanted to say, do you like pizza? I could just say, te gusta la pizza? And I would just do that by adding the question marks. You don't need any words for do you. Also, so if I were talking to someone formally, instead of te, I would just replace the words with le. So if I was asking, do you like pizza to my boss, I would say, le gusta la pizza. Or if I was saying you like tacos to my boss, I would say, le gustan los tacos, and so on. If I'm talking about what someone else likes in the third person, like saying he likes something or she likes something, I would use le gusta as well. But to clarify who I'm talking about, I might use a él le gusta if I was saying he likes it, or a ella, or I might use the person's name. So for example, if I wanted to say that my daughter Katie likes Christmas, I would say a Katie le gusta la Navidad. If I were talking about myself and a group of people, like for instance my family, I could use nos gusta or nos gustan. So if I wanted to say we like to swim, I would say nos gusta nadar. Remember that you're not conjugating that verb at the end. Leave it with the AR. If I'm talking about a group of people that I'm not part of, and I want to say what they like, then I use les. Or I can clarify by saying a ellos les gusta. So if I wanted to say my students like to travel, I would say a mis estudiantes les gusta viajar. So here's another way to think about it. Some people this helps and some people it kind of confuses, so just go with what works for you. So this sentence, mushrooms disgust me. The word disgust works a lot like gusta works in Spanish. So really in that sentence, mushrooms disgust me, mushrooms are the subject of the sentence. They're the things that are doing the disgusting. Same thing with gustar in Spanish. The thing that you like becomes the subject of your sentence. So if you just kind of switch the order of the English sentence around, put the me in the front, the mushrooms at the end, you have me disgustan los hongos. And you could do the same thing as we just did there with the disgusting. It's almost like there's an opposite word of disgust in Spanish. It's the word gust, which means you like it. So the same sentence, me gustan los hongos. If that helps you think about it, use it. If not, don't worry about it. Okay, so here's a quick chart to review all the different forms that you would use with gustar. Me, te, le, nos, and les. And the big thing to remember is that in Spanish, when you're using the verb gustar, your verb matches the thing that you like, not the person who likes it. This is different than most Spanish verbs. So because of that, you won't ever hear somebody say yo gusto, at least not properly, and you won't hear nosotros gustamos. You don't conjugate the verb gustar like you do other verbs. It's always either gusta or gustan. And you use those words like me, te, le, or nos to indicate who you're talking about. And one last thing, so if you want to say that you don't like something, all you have to do is add the word no to the front. So if I wanted to say I don't like mushrooms, I would say no me gustan los hongos. And at the bottom here you have a list of other verbs that work the same way that gustar do.